Merriam-Webster defines spicy in the following ways: having the quality, flavor, or fragrance of spice, lively or spirited, piquant or racy. Though there's no question of Webster's proficiency with definitions, in travel speak, if one were to ask a seasoned tourist about the word spicy, there's a great probability that he would suggest one more definition to be added to the roster: Bicol. To its north is Lamon Bay, to the east is the Pacific Ocean, to its west is Sibuyan Sea, and to the south is Lagonoy Gulf. Though surrounded by all these bodies of water, Bicolandia isn't merely a group of land formations that juts out defiantly against the sea. Bicolandia is a world unto itself. Indeed, volcanoes, mountains, caves, rivers, springs, and waterfalls carve Bicol out into a self-sufficient region more than capable of standing on its own 2 feet and marching on towards progress. It is self-sufficiency reflected by their vibrant, entrancing culture, deeply rooted in its natural environment and an undeniable soft spot for retrospection. Pili nuts in a baka, volcanoes and seashores, festivals and whale sharks. All these things attached to Bicol's name add up to a sum that is a complete and inviting package. Today, explore Bicol the fragrant, Bicol the lively, Bicol the spirited, Bicol the spicy. Connected by water, land, and a unified sense of place that sizzles in its wide open spaces and in the mysteries of its countless nooks and crannies, Bicol is made up of 11 municipalities that build a web of harbors for any traveler with hungry eyes and restless feet. At the beginning of it all is Camarines Norte. For those coming by way of Manila, Camarines Norte is often the first taste of Bicol to greet travelers, giving them a ready glimpse of what to expect from the region: cultural abundance, warm, knowing smiles, and not to be forgotten, adventures with nature itself. One of these face-to-face encounters with the forces and whims of Camarines Norte's diverse landscape can be found at Bagasbas Beach. Bagasbas Beach is the epitome of a surfer's paradise. Fine sand, salty sea air, and friendly waves for pros and novices alike. With waves that swell and rise to heights 3 to 6 feet, it has quickly become the destination for those who want to test their strengths on the water and those out to hone their budding skills. For all its popularity with surfers, however, Bagasbas Beach isn't a one-trick pony. Beach volleyball, skimboarding, and kiteboarding are just some of the activities this gem of Camarines Norte has to offer. Not to be overshadowed is Kilowatts Island, a small congregation of islands in Camarines Norte's Vinzons, whose beaches, such as Mahabang Buhangin, fit the description for any paradise. White sand, clear water, the beauty of nature as it was since the beginning of time. Further demonstrating Camarines Norte's abundance, without a doubt, is the municipality of Mercedes. One of the 2 major fishing ports of Camarines Norte, a panorama of Mercedes will reveal thousands of boats harvesting the sea's diversified bounty. This slew of challenges and thrills follows tourists without fail, as they make their way down to Bicol's southern region. With the name originating from the Spanish word camaronchones, meaning small nipa huts, Camarines Sur is a place that defies etymology. Indeed, Camarines Sur contained paradises that caught the eyes of conquistadores then and are catching the eyes of the curious today. One of those paradises goes formally by the name Camsur Water Sports Complex. To friends and frequent visitors, it is more familiarly known as CWC. To all, however, CWC is a name synonymous with extreme sports. It has risen to become a small community built on the love for sports and speed. The first of its kind, CWC is what one could call a water park for the young at heart, and the simply adventurous. Another of those paradises Camarines Sur has kept under its metaphorical nipa huts are the Isles of Caramoan. Originally given the name Gota de Leche because of the milk drop-shaped stalagmites found at its primary port, today the name Gota aptly refers to Gota Beach, the jump-off point for exploring Caramoan's islands. In a country where island hopping is a staple in any tourist destination, Caramoan's version of this attraction prides itself as a showcase of untouched beauty and captivating topography. There are islands seeming to disguise themselves as sandbars, as Lahos Island does. In Camarines Sur, visit Lake Buhi that house even more significant creatures. Sinarapan, the world's smallest fish indigenous to Camarines Sur and cared for by its people. A fitting home for fish so special is Mount Iriga, in whose slopes Lake Buhi is nestled. Mount Iriga is a favorite for mountain climbers, trekkers, and campers because of the topography's limitless possibilities. Another well-loved mountain of Camarines Sur is Mount Isarog, a landform internationally identified as having fragile biological diversity, with forests such as Malabsay, Nabontolan, and waterfalls such as Yabon. In response, the people of Camarines Sur have made an effort to build a nature park and a forest reserve to care for its layers of forests while still sharing the beauty of the mountain for all tourists who brave the climb. If Bicol's Camarines Sur was named after nipa huts, Catanduanes, on the other hand, was named after a beetle and a tree. 30 minutes away from Camarines Sur, Catanduanes is the province of Bicol, where both reside in bounty. Flanked by the Maqueda Channel, the Lagonoy Gulf, and the Pacific Ocean, Catanduanes is situated in the path of tropical cyclones, thus earning the title, the Land of the Howling Winds. Indeed, perhaps the only thing to match the strength and intensity of its weather is the equal strength and intensity of its waves at Puraaran Beach. From the lips of professional surfers themselves comes the term the Majestics. Christened as such because of Puraaran Beach's crashing waves that can swell up to 10 feet high, emphasizing in its proud heights the true majesty of the sea. The beach's topography, more than being an element of a picture, also serves the purpose of making Catanduanes' top surfing destination, a destination for everyone. Truly, Catanduanes is a place where it is impossible to get bored. At Twin Rock Beach Resort, one of the province's main attractions, one's days will be teeming with activities to tweet about. With its offerings of snorkeling, zip lining, jet skiing, kayaking, rappelling, wall climbing in ATVs and rope bridges, the Twin Rock Beach Resort might just be the perfect thrill-seeker's paradise. As proof of Bicol's immense versatility, a gulf separates the fluid, frenzied waves that characterize Puraran Beach and the sleeping giant of a volcano that sets Albay's apart. Shooting up from the fertile island of the Albay province is Mayon Volcano. With its summit shrouded in clouds and its looming height offset by clear blue skies, one comes to the logical conclusion that its grandeur is equal to its potency. Local lore adorns it with the name Bulkang Magayon, which in the rhythmic Bicolano dialect means beautiful volcano, patterned after the heroine of old Daragang Magayon. Indeed, Mayon is Albay's most beautiful lady. Its nearly perfect conical shape containing depths of churning lava whose changing moods make it the most active volcano, not only in Bicol but in the Philippines as well. One way to get close to the celebrity of a landmark is to brave the terrain of Limnon Hill. Sitting 10 kilometers away from Mayon's summit, Limnon Hill Nature Park offers a path to the volcano that is paved with adventures. The first stop is a crawl through Limnon Hill Tunnel. Once a passageway for Japanese soldiers, tourists get the chance to enter the same cool dark space that housed the soldiers in the Second World War. From then on, it is a trek onto the smoking foot of Mount Mayon, beginning at the Capituco Trail. The trek is inclusive of much walking, climbing ladders of sturdy bamboo, pausing at scenic spots that show off the colorful Albay landscape, such as the Window of Mayon, ziplining at 320 meters, and riding an ATV through the rocky, watery backside of Limnon Hill. Another way to catch a unique sight of Mayon is to look at it from Cagsawa ruins. Indeed, from here, one will see not only Mount Mayon, but the effects of its vigor as well. All that's been left after Mayon's most powerful eruptions is a church belfry, peeking from under land made of volcano debris. Following in the lead of Mount Mayon, Albay's other attractions are also displays of the raw, arresting power of nature as left to its own devices. A unique example is Ligao's Kawa-Kawa Hill, a landmark that borrows its name from the local term for cauldron, because of the crater-like indent to be found at its center. At Kawa-Kawa Hill, tourists are treated to the artistry of life-size icons that gives this eco park a religious touch. Another one of nature's gifts to Albay province that shouldn't be missed is the Tiwi Geothermal Plant. A set of 3 plants that harness energy from the earth, it is a clear instance of the resources of nature at work. And it doesn't end there. Albay's charms are also for those who appreciate entertainment and architecture, as well as the environment. A recent development in Legazpi City, the Grand Terminal is said to be a main pull for those who seek the unique and those who just like to shop. Though a terminal in the true sense of the word, buses and jeepneys aren't the only things found there. The Grand Terminal is the setting for the aptly named Grand Tiangue, a marketplace of native products and handicrafts from Albay and all over Bicol, where one can bask in the creativity and productivity of the whole of Bicolandia. From the terminal, a short trip to the town of Tabaco will then transport you to pleasures of a more historical kind. Declared a National Historical Landmark in 1933, St. John the Baptist Church sits in Tabaco that has merited the honor of being one of the most stately religious structures in the province of Albay. Bicol's myriad wonders carries on in Sorsogon, beginning with the prominent Mount Bulusan. King of a volcano, Mount Bulusan's peaks reveal a rich collection of exotic wildlife and aquatic creatures, which serves as the centerpiece of the Mount Bulusan Natural Park Forest and the freshwater body of Lake Bulusan, two tourist spots that one should not miss. What makes Sorsogon stand out from its sister provinces is that time of year when their most favorite tourists come to visit, the migrating whale sharks. The whale sharks, known mere lovingly as butanding, can be found gliding under Donsol's waters in the months of February to May as if peaceful heralds of good news. Dubbed by Time magazine in 2004 as the best animal encounter in Asia, the whale shark interaction at Donsol is the main draw to the province, as it is an encounter whose appeal has yet to fade anytime soon, thanks to the peaceful, friendly butanding. At night in Donsol, when it becomes too dark to catch sight of the butandings, a new kind of creature to watch out for comes to life: fireflies. It is a rare nocturnal experience with creatures of light who are always ready to play. And indeed, Bicolanos know how to play, especially in Bicol's province of Masbate, the ranch land. Masbate, the island province, becomes ranch land each May as the poundings of spirited horses' hooves carve out a beat that reminds one of animal power at its most primal and at its most grand. Accompanying this grandeur is the atmosphere of friendly competition and unity, alive amongst the contestants that come from all over the Philippines, hoping to prove their worth in riding, livestock handling, roping cattle, and everything else that comes when the rodeo is in town. No other province of the Philippines do locals show as much appreciation for their cattle farmers, cow hands, and the animals they consider as partners in livelihood as in Masbate, the rodeo capital of the Philippines. For those more interested in things aquatic, however, Masbate is not to be underestimated. Masbate harbors attractions and adventures under its waters as well. One of these attractions is the Manta Ray. Manta Bowl in Ticao Pass is the primary haven of manta rays in the Philippines. The abundance of plankton in the area creating a good habitat for the harmless manta rays. The manta rays, for their curiosity and friendliness, have become dear to the people of Masbate, encouraging the foundation of the Manta Ray Conservation Program. The wonders of Bicol don't stop at its rich environment. In a place with such countless natural treasures to speak of, it is no wonder that the Bicolanos work to celebrate their good fortune in the most festive ways they can. And celebrate if they do. Bicol the fragrant, Bicol the lively, Bicol the spirited, Bicol the land of festivals. One of the festivals that opens the year is a month-long Gayon festival, and it begins with a band. Just as Albay's pride and joy, Mount Mayon is named after Daragang Mayon, so is its budding star, the Magayon Festival. The name, meaning beautiful, is amplified by the festivities that truly make a month seem too short. The weeks are filled by pageants, parades, fireworks displays, trade fairs that show off the rich sense of identity that overflows into the Bicolanos' handiwork, and the much-awaited street dancing competition that revives Bicol's legends of old and emphasizes the natural sources of their livelihood. One more festival set around April is Donsol's Butanding Arribada Festival. The streets by Donsol River come alive with a special procession that commemorates the Butandings and the bounty that they have brought to Sorsogon. Similarly, Catanduanes and its people celebrates their own bounty every year at the Catandungan Festival. Another one to add to the calendar in big bold letters is a festival in September, which for the people of Bicol only means one thing: the Feast of the Lady of Peña Francia, the patroness of the Bicol region. Viva la Virgen is an exclamation that resounds throughout the whole of Naga City as people from all over Bicol, the Philippines, and even the world come to pay their due respects to the Virgin. For those who truly want to savor their Albay experience, there is Misibis Bay. Located in the island of Cagragay, Misibis Bay is a residential resort where, for at least a night, one can feel the luxurious privacy of one's own Asian-inspired villa, where a first-class spa, great food, all kinds of beach activities and a serene shore are easily within reach. Other options that tourists come back to year after year, thanks to their excellent service and commendable accommodations, are hotels such as Hotel Venetia, Hotel St. Eli's and Pepperland Hotel of Legazpi, Villa Caceres of Naga City, and Mansion Suites of Camarines Sur. For tourists looking to spend their time in a more intimate setting, rest assured that despite all the hustle and bustle, Bicol is not just about the spectacle. It is also about the quaint. Albay's Balay Suanoy is in Daraga waiting. Last but not the least in this review of Bicol's charms is, of course, the cuisine. What trip would be complete without some scrumptious meals and one-of-a-kind souvenirs to take back home to the loved ones and remind one of a packed trip? A souvenir one shouldn't forget are the ever-famous pili nuts, whose sweet, nutty taste can be found in other products as well, such as pili pastries, pili candies, and pili tarts. As a complement to a solid bite of pili, tourists can then sink their teeth into the juicy Camarines Norte pineapples, whose sweetness knows no fail. For those who desire remembrances of a less gastronomic bent, there are also the abaca products, produced most abundantly in Catanduanes. A true example of Filipino resourcefulness, the Bicolanos have woven the world's strongest fiber, known locally as pinukpok, into such creative and colorful products as mats, slippers, baskets, bags, and all kinds of household decorations. For those wishing to go the extra mile, perhaps one of the best souvenirs to bring home to a loved one is none other than the gold jewelry from Bicol's literal gold mine, Paracale in Camarines Norte. And as Bicol's regions share these natural products, so do they share the irresistible inclination for incorporating red chili peppers and coconut milk, or, as the locals would say it, siling labuyo and gata in their everyday delicacies. Laing, a dish of taro leaves in spicy coconut milk sauce. Pinangat, fish or shrimp cooked in coconut milk and wrapped in leaves of yam. Tinuktok, a popular variation of pinangat. And the aptly named Bicol Express, a sinfully spicy pork dish, are just some examples that leave one with a taste of milky spiciness that is hard to forget. A bus, a ship, a plane, or a simple road trip is all any tourist needs to experience Bicol, or rather, to experience spicy in all senses of the word. Truly, one of the best ways to describe the region is as a constellation of singular sights, unforgettable cuisine, and people who at their core are people who know how to savor life. Come to Bicol. Without a doubt, the treasure chest of memorable experiences is waiting for you.